Okay, so as the title says, this is forging a badass Yanagiba, part 1. This is going to be the forging of Damascus and up to forging a knife billet. So this is the most complex Damascus pattern I've ever tried, and hopefully I will succeed. If not, well, then you're just gonna watch me fail, which is always fun. So yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed that everything goes away. Going backwards, it's really a simple Damascus. Is basically a twist, but I'm gonna do a couple of really fun stuff beforehand, and hopefully I'll get a really cool pattern, and I'll talk about it in a minute. So why Yanagiba? I was actually planning to do this knife for, I don't know, a couple of years, because Yanagiba, because of its particular properties of the grind and geometry, with a really steep cutting edge and the convex aura, I think it's going to expose a lot of interesting things in the Twisted Damascus. I'm gonna start with this billet. This is 1095 and 1520, and it's not symmetrical. If you look very closely on this side, there's a bit more of a 1095. I actually made this pre-billet, I don't know, a year ago, something like that. I have no idea what I was planning to do. But it's not one-on-one, so it's gonna be biased on one side. Anyhow, it's a big billet. Hopefully I'll get enough material out for a couple of knives, possibly 3, but we'll just focus on Yanagiba. So this is what we have. Let's say this is what we have. I'm first gonna forge, weld this billet, then I'm gonna turn it on an angle on diagonals and squish it to get nice C's. I'm going to flatten it a bit to get rectangular. Then I'm gonna stack this 4 pieces on each other, forge welded, and then I'm gonna do 2 sets. This is going to be the first weld, so we're gonna get crushed W's, and I'm gonna cut that billet into 5 equal parts. I'm gonna take these two, and leave them as they is, and the next 3 I'm gonna do restack and forge weld them again, and then draw it out so that I have 2 billets of the same size. That way I'm going to have what would be kind of much denser W pattern versus a lighter pattern. So, and final billet is this. So the lighter pattern is on the ends. Then I'm gonna put a thin layer of 15 and 20, then the denser layer. Then in the middle it's going to be a thick layer of 1095 and 15 and 20, like 3 layers, and then the same thing on the bottom. And then I'm gonna square it, that's here, to about, I think, 3 times 3 centimeters square, maybe a little bit less. And then I'm gonna twist it really hard, and hopefully, well, I'm gonna get back to you once we get there. So let's start. This is the actual noise my press is making. Hope you enjoy it. Just kidding. I'm not gonna torture you. I'm either gonna comment on what I'm doing, or I'm gonna play some free tune on fine. So this is the first light
pass with the press uh, at forge welding heat.
Okay, so I did 2 light presses at forging heat, and I mean really light, just to get them stick together. And I brushed them off in between and fluxed them, and then I put it back in the forge, and I'm gonna let it soak for let's say double the time, or maybe 5 minutes after it gets to the forge welding heat, just to get those crystals to grow between the layers. And then I'm gonna do another semi-light pass, and after that I think it's more than safe enough to really get in it. So I'm gonna change my dyes, go to a much more aggressive dyes, and then I'm gonna stretch it out.
I didn't mention this while recording, so I might as well do it now. The reason I'm going slowly and let the billet soak longer than usual is that a lot of forging later on will be done across the welds, which is really stressful. So I just want to be super sure that all the welds are set properly. Here I'm using the squaring dies to start the rounding of the corners to make the C's at the original billet. As you can see, my forging press wasn't really originally designed as a forging press, and the system for dies was designed and educated by yours truly. Hence, all the struggling and jumping around of the dies. Here you can see me starting to stretch out the billet. As I'm trying to be as clean as possible, I'm using an old 123 block as a kiss block for the thickness and let's call it the height of the billet. Also, all the sequences that are showing me using the press are actually at 2 times the speed, so this is with my press really a slow process, a much slower one than what appears in a video. So by now the billet is too long for my forge, and I had to turn it around to get it heat up. So you can see that the part I'm holding in my tongs is actually that cold. So I have to twist it around all the time. And this is the cleanup with my angle grinder. I didn't record any of it. I just put this little sequence so you know that I'm doing it. And this is the first restack. So this will be the W's or 4 rows of C's. You can see the billet is quite thick at this point, and I had to stretch it out to get 5 equally long parts.
Okay, so after a lot of forging and grinding and restacking and whatnot, I didn't actually record everything, nor will I show it because it's just repetitive and boring. I did have one mishap. I lost my balance while I was forging, actually while I was drawing out the billet, and I was just by the end of the billet, where it's the weakest. I lost the balance, and unfortunately I regained my balance by dropping my full weight on the pedal of my press, and it went way too hard across the welds, and it split. I lost a nice chunk of steel. So yeah, what can you do? I unfortunately I didn't film that because it was really funny, and well, what can you do? Anyhow, after quite a lot of doing stuff, I have this. This is the final billet. I'm going to drop it into a forge in about 2 minutes as soon as I weld it up. So the setup is low layer C's. This is 4 C's, 15 and 20. High layer C's or W's, whatever you want to call them. This is 12. Then double stack of 15 and 20, a thick stack of 1095, and the same across the way. So the plan is to forge weld it and then to draw it out into I want to say 3 centimeters square bar, something like that. Okay, so I've stretched it up to this long of a bar of 3 centimeters thick, and I just took it outside to my angle grinder to just clean it up a bit, because not all the pieces were equal wide, so some of them were sticking out, and I just wanted to clean out in case there were any cold shots. It was probably not necessary, but yeah, it took me 10 minutes, so whatever. So now I have 2 billets. One is slightly longer than the other. I'm gonna stretch them out to 1 to 2 centimeters square, 1 to 2.5, and then I'm gonna twist it. Yeah, so let's see how that goes.
Okay, so I didn't really record all the twisting because I had enough problems with actually twisting it, so I couldn't afford to spend time actually recording. It was I don't know, for some reason it was really tough to twist it. I mean the thinner billet, the 1 2 centimeters square was a bit easier, but the one 2.5 was really, I didn't broke my back, but I was bit uh, for I don't know, a week or something like that. Yeah, it was really tough. I actually managed to broke my die on my press, so I had to switch to a vice. It was a bit awkward. Yeah, I don't know, but in the end, I managed to twist it.
Okay, so I finish forging out the billet, and this is the final product. Yeah, it's not really evenly twisted, it's more dense in the middle than on the side, but yeah, I think it's gonna look just fine since I'm gonna stretch it out a bit. I'll keep that in mind, so I think it's alright. So all in all, I have some 22 centimeters of usable steel, plus a bit on the ends that I'm gonna use for tanks. So I'll probably manage to get Yanagiba and a couple of small knives out of it, but yeah, we'll see. So I have to go take it to my angle grinder and kind of grind off all the lines from the twisting, and then I'm gonna cut it, and yeah, we're gonna forge a knife.
So here you can see me flattening the original twisted bar and stretching it out and widening it. This is actually a mix of two billets, the thinner one for the sashimi and the thicker one for the anagiba. I wasn't really paying attention to what I was recording, but it doesn't really matter. The process is basically the same. Stretch it out, flatten it, stretch it out, widen it a bit, and then get it nice and clean on the anvil. So you will see that the knife goes from shorter to longer. But yeah, I've been forging both of them at the same time, so uh, it's all the same. And you can see here that my press wasn't really designed for forging, because I have to basically put my nose into the press to see what I'm doing. A bit more delicate stuff. I mean, for forging out big billets, it's okay, but for the kind of finer tune, it's it's really bad.
Okay, so after the cleanup and everything, I'm left with this. It's let's see, about 2 by 2 square. Yeah, a bit thicker and some 16 centimeters usable length. I think it's going to be enough. If I don't mess up something really bad. Anyways, yeah, hope so. And as a trial run, I've cut the smaller billet, the thinner billet, in half and did this kind of a small sashimi, just to see how the steel is moving and whatnot. And yeah, it's going to be a nice knife. It's just not as long as I would have liked to, but yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna forge the, let's call it the main billet, and hopefully I'll get it to stretch as much as I need it. Yeah, I wasn't really calculating anything, just kind of eyeballing everything, so yeah, hopefully it works out. Okay, see you soon.
So a note about forging the actual knife. I wasn't forging the bevels or the taper or anything like that because it's a twist Damascus, and the twist Damascus is kind of a specific one where you don't want to forge too much. You want to grind as much as you can, because the deeper you grind, the better, or well, the more interesting parts of the pattern are revealed. So when you see me forging on the anvil, I'm just trying to get the billet close to the final shape from the profile. I'm not doing any forging of the tapers in either plane.
Okay, so to wrap this video, first part of the video up, this is the blade. It's been heat treated, just about everything that needs to be done. Normalize, grain reduced to really fine grain, and heat treated and tempered. And yeah, I'm gonna cut it. It's more than enough junk for one video. I will show the picture of the smaller sashimi that I did in the same steel, just as a test run, and it came out really nice. It's a combination of bold and tight pattern, and it looks really nice. Hopefully this one will look a bit different because of the geometry with the ura on the back side and the chisel grind on the front side. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching and thanks for support. If you have any questions, if I missed something, do drop a comment down below. Also, I'm really sorry for the quality of this video, but I'm not a filmmaker. I said that numerous times. I basically forget to put on the camera a bunch of times. My angles are awful. I don't really have space to put my equipment where it should be, so a lot of times nothing can really be seen what I'm doing, because between the forge and the press and me being not really petite, there's simply no place to put the camera safely. If I put it on my right side, it's too hot from the forge. If I put it on the left side, it's kind of hard to get the angle in the press. It's a bit easier when I'm doing hand forging on the anvil, but even that, I mean, this is really not a shop that's basically this is not a shop, it's just a shed that I use as a shop, but I don't really have that much space to position equipment where anything decent could be captured. But yeah, well, it is what it is, so I do the best I can with what I have. Okay, so see you next time. The part 2 is going to be grinding, hand sanding, etching and making the handle. And yeah, okay, thanks, bye.